Wow, what up, y'all? DJ Rooster back at it again with some more winning time Rooster talk. Wake your ass up, because the water's never sleeps. You hear me? We out here talking about the Pels. We streaking. Don't call the cops. Hey, don't call the cops. We streaking. We streaking. Fly, motherfucking Pelicans, fly. 2 in a row. I was too excited, y'all. I had a whole lot of stuff going on yesterday, so I couldn't make a video yesterday, but I'm here today with a little joint video. We're going to talk a little bit about the Mavs because, ain't much to really say about it. Another hard-fought victory, scrapped it out. Because what I really want to talk about, to piggyback off the Mavs, as you see in the title, the Mavs victory and why it's so hard to win with this team. Really, a lot of this is kind of like a league-wide issue, but especially with the Pelicans and how they constructed their roster. So the Pelicans team is a lot harder to coach than people realize and all that, the at-home coaches. So I'm going to go into that a little bit later. First, let's recap the Mavs. How we always start off. Our best performers and worst performers. As always, plus 12, Jose Alvarado. Really, this is weird. There's only 2 players really in a plus. Everybody else was like even, like -1 or +1. I think Trey Murphy was +1. So Jose's plus 12. Herb Jones plus 10. That was really your only 2 that was really in a plus like that. The next closest player was +1. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many times I gotta keep saying, play Jose. Jose's got to start. Is what it is. Surprisingly, Derek Queen was a -3. He was like the lowest on that list. Or him and Derek Fierce, who Fierce is always in the minus. This dude needs less minutes. Like people saw him, like I love Fierce, but he just needs less minutes. He's more effective in like 3-4 minute bursts here or there. Like he doesn't need sustained drives. Like maybe when the game is out of hand or something, but like this dude, every game he's always in hugely in a minus. Like every single game, we get so caught up on his scoring and flashes. Like there's more to basketball. There's a bunch, and he's gonna be great. But we don't need to be playing rookies this much when we have like so much other guards on the court. Get PV more run, and Jordan Hawkins has been playing a lot better. I say we should play him more just so we can, get some trade value out of him. That's really what it is. 'Cause I've seen enough of Jordan. I think he's going to be a decent player. So we could, I'd rather trade him and consolidate some pieces. If we could find a way to trade him and Jordan Poole. Because at this point, because I want to get off of DeJounte Murray. But at this point, we could, I say trade Poole, keep DeJounte, even though he was kind of trash last year. I'm hoping on DeJounte. He couldn't hit a shot. It was the worst shooter I've ever seen. I've never seen a guard shoot this horribly ever in the history of my life. DeJounte had some all-time terrible shooting streak, but that's what it is. Jose needs to play. Fears gonna get better. And get Jose. Jordan Hawkins. I can't speak. Jordan Hawkins. Get Jordan Hawkins some playing time so we could trade his ass. Now, I would have liked to see, Looney a little bit more in the game because he actually was starting to roll. Because I think he's going to be big for, especially in the rebounding department. Because Daniel Gafford was really the only player on their team that had a high plus minus. It was like +8. Gafford was scooping up rebounds. While Looney was in the game, he was eating more. Give me that. And he was making good passes. Looney. He coming through. Once he works himself back in, we needed those rebounders. Especially all missing the shots like that. And I wish Looney was more athletic. But that's what Makovich is. That boy. He's gonna be good. And we have a whole collection of people. Other than that, feels like these last minutes. And the last thing I want to mention, how this team, just looks better without Zion, and that's gonna piggyback into the next segment. This team definitely looks better without Zion, but more importantly, it looks better without Poole. I can turn the fucking ball over all the time and not really make it up for just being weak in general. I hope he gets better, but he's been trash. And we're better without this version of Zion. Not necessarily. Zion. Preseason Zion, man, that dude was the GOAT, man. I don't understand it. But whatever. We're going to get into that. So that's it. That's it for the Mavericks. Good win. Great win for the team. You know, get Looney a little bit going. Sadiq Bey once again. I think he was like -1, but it's all right. He's always gonna be on the floor. He's a basketball player. I fuck with Sadiq. So now let's get into the meat of the video. Why the New Orleans Pelicans are so hard to coach? There are 3 main reasons why the New Orleans Pelicans are just a very hard to coach team. It's a lot more complicated than people realize. And the first one, number 1, is Zion. Yeah, I know that this is like, hot take, team better without Zion. But it's a little bit deeper than that. Zion, he's a lot like, him and Giannis are pretty much the same player. Except Zion's got, no, they both got a little mid-range now. I mean, they're both pretty much the same player, except Giannis gets superstar calls. That's really the difference between Zion and Giannis. Half the time, Zion gets a freaking charge. They call a charge on him where Giannis would get, an and one, which is just, like I said, Giannis is a slightly overrated player, in my not so humble opinion. That's why they flame out, in the playoffs so much, because we have a ball-dominant dude. You have a ball-dominant player who's not a great playmaker, and they just don't do a lot of the little things. Like Giannis just don't do a lot of the little things. Like Zion don't do a lot of little things. And they both do some of the little things, especially defensively when they love to come off for the defensive help swat. That's like their thing, come here. Yeah, they're pretty much like the same player. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much the Zion don't get a call. But it's hard to build around that because Zion can't really shoot, just like Giannis can't really shoot. That's why a lot of times the Bucks look better without Giannis on the floor. And people always blaming the guards for the Bucks struggle, like either Drew or Dame. But Giannis is like one of the worst pick and roll players in like the history of the league. It's actually wild. A dude like Giannis can't play pick and roll because he's like a Westbrook style passer. He's not really a playmaker in the sense that he's looking for bailout passes. He's looking to apply pressure and then throw passes to where the pressure has to alleviate. Since pressure has to condense, pressure has to be alleviated somewhere else. He's that kind of passer. He's not really meticulously breaking down a defense and predicting shit. Like he's not moving. He's not orchestrated. He's not a floor general. Which is another video I'm going to make the difference between a floor general, a playmaker, and a passer. There's overlap between these 3, but there are distinct differences. Giannis is a passer. He's a willing passer and a really good passer, but he's not a great playmaker. He's not a bad one. He's not a great one. Just like Zion, he's not a bad playmaker, just not a great one. This year Zion's been playing trash. Like he hasn't been playmaking at all. I don't really get it. And he's still a pretty good passer. Like his passes are crisp. You know what I'm saying? So he's still pretty good. He just don't know it. So I mean, Zion's number 1 reason why it's hard to kind of coach this team because Zion has a very particular skill set. So you have to build particular players. On top of that, when he goes to the bench, there's nobody else that's doing what Zion's doing. So the entire focal part of the offense changes. So at this point, Trey Murphy or somebody has to take up the scoring load. But how they score is still different. Now Fierce comes in as a good downhill scorer. But he's at the guard position and and if he's starting, he's gonna play with Zion. But it's a whole different thing. Sadiq Bey, another player. We don't have any player on the team that plays like him. I've been saying this all my videos. He just does all the little things. He's a basketball player. We need another dude like that. But when Sadiq Bey comes out, then everything comes fragmented. So Sadiq Bey is like a role compression. Anybody who's played any competitive game or thing at all, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, hell, basketball, you know what I'm saying? But they're only using the basketball so much. But there's this thing called role compression. You put a whole bunch of different skills and roles into one player, character, person, or whatever. Sadiq Bey has insane role compression. He could do everything. I wish he could be a little bit of a better playmaker. He can play make, but he's not a playmaker. If that makes any sense. Hold up. Look at it. No bad luck. We gotta get the ball spin to break that up. Boom. You never know what it is. And last but not least on this regard, it's Jose Alvarado. Like nobody on the team can really do what he does. His role compression as well. Like whenever Jose's out the game, you have to mix in multiple players to bring in what he brings. And nobody really brings the defensive intensity that he does. Like you can't just take him out and put another dude. That's why we still should have kept Najee Marshall. Don't get me started. I love Najee here. He was perfect. He was that Sadiq Bey type player. Imagine having Sadiq and Najee. Even though Najee didn't play well in the game that we just played, but still. We got that dog in him. But most importantly, Jose's the only floor general on the team. Like he's the only floor general on the team. I thought Poole would be a floor general. I thought he was really a true combo guard. But he's really more of a two guard who can play the one. As opposed to CJ Garbage ass, who was like a two guard who could like masquerade as the one. He didn't have any point guard skills. At least Jordan Poole has some point guard skills. CJ had nothing. CJ had nothing. Oh. Next reason, bro. Versatility of the players in the eyes of the media. Hold up, give me 1 second.